Hey everyone, it's Daniel, and this is day 16 of my 30-day video challenge. It's pretty late at night and I'm quite tired, and the topic of the video tonight is going to be doing nothing. And I think this is important kind of just because of the culture that we live in and the information that we receive about, how to be a good person. Is always kind of based around achieving, accomplishing, making a lot of money. This frenetic, always chasing after the next thing. And it's only through, getting that next thing, constantly be hustling, grinding, making progress. And it's only by doing that that we're allowed to actually feel like we are a good person. I suspect more and more every day that this point of view is not only absurd, but becoming dangerous. It's people's very resistance to doing nothing, absolute insistence on busying themselves with producing and consuming, spending and buying, that we are eventually going to destroy our planet if we keep acting that out. So this kind of obsession with accomplishment, with doing, is not only driving us insane, but destroying the very home that we all live in. This kind of addiction to doing what I really mean is the kind of doing that comes from, fundamentally, from craving, from seeking outside ourselves for something that can't be found externally. We all know that even when we get what we want, shortly afterwards, the buzz is gone, right? The high is gone, the good feeling is gone, and then we just basically ignore that thing. We treat it as, we take it for granted, or treat it as irrelevant. We just ignore it. This is just human nature. I mean, when things are going right, we just ignore them. And if you couple that with the way our culture promotes consumption, promotes doing, we ignore all the things that we've already done, all the things we've already accomplished, or everything that's already going according to plan. And then we, through our drivenness, through this craving, this external looking for satisfaction, we pile on more for ourselves to do. This is, it's obviously a vicious cycle. Some of us already know that. And yet we're still trapped. So what I'm trying right now in this video is to speak from that place where there isn't much, or there isn't any trying, accomplishing, or doing. So I virtually had no plan for this video, and I'm not even planning right now what I'm saying. I'm actually just sitting here meditating and getting to that place where the activity doesn't come from that external craving, that desire to ultimately it's the desire to make reality different, to make things into something that they're not. There is a level of action that is beneath the craving, beneath the drivenness. And although most of us rarely or never access that place, free from craving, free from desire to change reality, it is possible to act from that place. Although when you do access that place, it is often the case that you realize a lot of the things that you thought needed to be accomplished, we can now see through that. And see that some of these things that we had planned, some of these things on our agenda are just ultimately distractions or sideshows, keeping us from experiencing the real meaning of life, keeping us from experiencing what is actually going on. I had a friend just earlier today ask about what he considered to be the paradox, the great paradox of Buddhist philosophy. And it goes something like, how can we retain our ability to care and actively seek for the reduction of suffering? How can we truly act in service to others from a place of compassion if the result of all of this meditation practice, the end of the path, is some kind of fully accepting, fully loving everything in the universe exactly as it is? Tough question. Because from the perspective of the ordinary mind, it seems like if we were to give up craving for the world to be different, if we gave up that game, if we stopped playing, how could we possibly formulate plans? How could we organize? How could we create systems to reduce suffering? These two things seem completely opposed to one another. And my tentative answer for that is basically when you drop into that space of doing nothing, almost simultaneous with that fully accepting, that fully sinking in to the present moment, accepting it, comes with an overflowing amount of compassion and yes, active energy that can be expressed or manifested in a way that actually reduces suffering. So by kind of dropping down to this other level where we fully accepted the way things are, it doesn't in any way negate what is actually going on in the world. There's no contradiction. When you see the world for what it is, you will automatically act from the place of non-doing, completely spontaneously, without some kind of analytical or logical thinking process. The thinking will come later, but spontaneously overflowing with compassion and the desire to serve. I just got an alert on my phone. I'm not sure if the video got blurred or cut off. All I was saying was if you can sink into the place of not doing, a place where nothing in the universe really needs to be fundamentally altered. It is from that very place that you can act spontaneously and compassionately towards the elimination of suffering for all beings. If you're acting from the place of craving and reactivity, really wanting the universe, the fabric of the cosmos to be different than it is, you are, even if you get your way, even if you feed the poor, or even if you cure a disease, you're spreading more subtle forms of violence and aggression that will eventually ripen like seeds. We're basically talking about karma. So if you act in the world in a way that is from craving and drivenness, you will never fully solve the problem, because you're creating more problems as you go along. So you got to find a solution that redeems the world, reduces suffering, and also comes from a place of radical, compassionate acceptance for exactly what is, exactly the way things are. We use meditation practice as a kind of foundation for that. A lot of what we practice is related to equanimity, just basically cultivating that understanding that things are the way that they are, and they couldn't be any other way. Of course, that doesn't negate free will. Things are, right now, things are exactly the way they are. And we still have a choice about what to do next. As far as anyone knows, we can make choices that affect the future. You can always look back on the past and say, well, given what occurred right before, whatever happened had to have happened, and it couldn't have happened any other way. But from the vantage point of the present moment looking forward, there appear to be choices that can be made. And the real work here is to get to a place where you can make those choices from the place of acceptance, from the place of compassionate understanding. I think that's the resolution to the paradox. We're still acting, we're still making choices, but we're doing it from a place of acceptance. We're doing it from a place of compassion. We're doing it from a deeper level of mind that is in tune with the way things really are, or at least more real than the ordinary kind of imaginal fantasy thought-based perception or construct of reality. I'm going to go ahead and end the video now, and I encourage you guys to spend a little bit of time doing nothing. Just sinking in to what is. Meditation can be a great way of practicing acceptance. And then from that place of acceptance, you can get up and act effectively and compassionately in the world. So that's it, and I will see you guys tomorrow.